Hello strategy gaming enthusiasts, my name is AlzaboHD, and in today's challenge video, we are going to play Democracy 4 and transform Brazilian democracy into ecological autocracy. You will eat the bugs, stay in your eco-pod during carbon curfew, and chew soy while we deploy planetary police and bring about peace. Brazil is one of 6 new nations available to play in the new Country Pack DLC, and I invite you to join me as we curtail climate crime, reforest the Amazon rainforest, and enforce sustainable subjugation upon our developing nation. But before we get started, this video is sponsored by Positech Games, the developers and creators of Democracy 4. Unlock more polities by checking out the Country Pack DLC in the description box below and benefit from a 10% sustainable sale. In the meantime, we'll get started with our carbon campaign by playing as Brazil. Nothing says democracy like compulsory voting, and as in real life, every citizen must go to the polls or suffer a 60-cent toll. Our goal is to create a sustainable and green militarized police state, so naturally we'll opt to play as the real-life National Ecological Party, a right-wing and formerly green team. For our foes, we'll be dealing with the leftist Workers' Party and centrist Brazilian Democratic Movement, both of whom are about 20 times more popular than our political party. With everything in play, it's time for me to show you the way into the Brazil of today. Our electoral victory has brought the PEN into power with marginal popularity, ruling over a Brazil with modest GDP and unemployment, above average health and education, low poverty, and a tremendously high crime rate on account of leading the world in the export of murder. Our primary constituents, the environmentalists, form a minority share of only 20% of the Brazilian population, and will need to kick off our agenda to get the Amazon on and secure enough votes to keep us afloat. Global warming is an icebreaker, so we'll start by maxing out the tax on plastic. Next, we'll run a campaign to keep our country clean in an effort to boost our green membership. Maldito, GDP is down and unemployment is gaining ground. We need to pass popular policies to stay in power, and we'll start by establishing a community police force. Crime isn't popular either, and everyone loves police, so we'll put them on every street. Of course, passing popular policies doesn't matter if we take control of the media, so let's repress the free press. And speaking of press, American claims of WMDs have brought about an aerial invasion and deflation of our credit rating and financial institutions. Approval ratings are bombed, but the tree from Ipanema is still rocking. Sustainable state media is the opiate of the masses, and Brazil has obtained bliss. It's fun to stay at the YMCA, and our youth can now enjoy sustainable subsidies for their startup companies. Back at Party HQ, our corporate donor Hugo wants to go all in on building a naval wall, and that's not all. He enforces us to install flags along every road. But roads erode our environment, so we'll mandate that workers work from home, recycle funds used for unsustainable retirement, and promote police drones to keep our citizens safely inside. Outside, climate criminals have staged a coup d'etat, so we'll put them in fully funded green gulags. Would you kindly replant these seeds and revive our trees? We've solved carbon overcrowding, disbanded finances for females, and set our water blasts to low to show the people our goodwill. Oil drills have no place in our polity and are disbanded immediately. Corporate councils and small business funds are founded, and the air is breathable at last. Our content constituents are polling to our policies favorably, so we'll remind them to vote for our party by installing facial recognition cameras in every voting center. You have nothing to hide, and there's no such thing as privacy. Think instead of the trees, and thanks to reforestation by hard labor, Mother Nature is back for good. Our first term is over, and the malleable masses are ready to vote. These free and Fair elections clearly show that Brazilians love their Partido Ecológico, and we've won with only 19% of citizens assigned to recycling centers. Since we've gained office, carbon emissions are down by over 50%, the anthropoids are back in town, and democracy doesn't matter. While we might have won the election, Brazil is headed in a terrible direction, with low GDP, struggling healthcare, exploding unemployment, and climbing climate crime. It's time to ban fracking, increase our term limit to ensure we stay in power, and put an end to antisocial behavior. But to implement all of our policies, we'll need money, so we'll slash the 80 billion unemployment fund and eliminate mining subsidies. Capitalists hate this one simple trick, and our credit rating and GDP are nosediving, but we're only getting started. Our elderly population contributes to pollution and debt, so we'll abandon our pensioners to their fate, and our poverty is great. We'll use our liberated funds to militarize our planetary police force with submachine guns, increase funding for sustainable privatized prisons, and arm our emerging police state with solar-powered tasers. With unemployment and retirement now effectively illegal, we'll put our unemployed masses to work in reforesting the nation, providing growth to our GDP and a decrease in vagrancy. And speaking of vagrants, handicapped people are perfectly capable of lifting themselves up by their wheel straps, and scrapping disability saves us more than 100 billion reais per quarter. These anthropogenic actions have finally reversed our government debt, putting it into surplus for the first time in Brazilian history. Naturally, we'll privatize our hydroelectric grid to ensure further profits, ensure mandatory recycling via gunpoint at your doorstep, and we're already seeing a natural increase in entirely voluntary ecological sentiment. It's beyond time to tax out junk food and meat and offer our citizens only soy, apples, and bananas. To max our efficiency and GDP, we'll also invest our budget into science funding, particle accelerators, grant companies complete control over their workers, and legalize environmentally friendly child labor legislation. We've saved our economy, ridded ourselves of our debt crisis, and captured the attention of our eco-electorate. All that's left is to require everyone to install solar panels on their homes. In time, violent crime has been eliminated, fake news has been forsaken, and the reforestation of the nation by retired and unwheeled vagrants has revived entire animal species from extinction. It is thus with great anticipation that we await the results of 2030's election, but once you go Team Green and clean the media from pollutant propaganda, you can obtain anything. In 2030 AD, political polarization is a distant memory. The term limit has increased to 4, and 20 carbon emitters were blazed away in an apartment fire. GDP is up, health is up, unemployment is down, and the introduction of soy meat was met with the end of our food crisis and 100% voter approval. Through our policies, environmentalists now represent over 50% of our constituents, and with our high political capital, we can start to capitalize on sustainable policies. Commence the carbon campaigns, mandate solar panels in every slum, and make sustainable slums fun by abolishing rental controls and socialized housing. Unfortunately, our actions have resulted in credit backsliding, so we'll end public holidays to remain competitive, keep the rental serfs back on their turf, ban industrial vehicles, and subsidize renewable energy in this time of climate emergency. Our country is now the safest in the world, pollution controls are extolled, and executive term limits are mere suggestions. With democracy dying out, emergency powers are no longer necessary. A 500 billion real climate change adaptation fund was adopted, and Brazil is the place to be. In spite of reactionary activity, our PEN party was able to pass green electronics initiatives, cycling campaigns, organic farming subsidies, and even banned crypto coin mining to preserve the GPU market. It was the best of times, with GDP and health soaring upwards, government debt sinking, and so-called clean coal banned from our state. Economically, our credit rating was exploding upwards. Environmentalists now formed a plurality of 95% of our population, farms were relocated to our urban centers, and a landmark carbon tax at last made pollution unprofitable. With overwhelming representation, it was thus no surprise that our ecological party won their bid for their 4th electoral term, eco-fashionably swinging our state into the authoritarian right-of-way. At the start of our 4th term, our credit has never been higher. A contingent of crypto bros have been fired, and presidential term limits have been retired. After 12 years of education through forestation, almost every Brazilian is an environmentalist, and with green gambling on the table, our corporate credit rating has maxed out. We'll say no to GMO, no to saying no to where your body goes, and obrigado to our campaign financier proposing a Martian mission. The unemployed masses will serve as ethical labor. Our high-tech economy grants a scientific favor, and a star of the pornographic variety has given our president notoriety. With nationalism contained and our budget balanced for the first time in Brazilian history, it's high time to go on a spending spree. Corruption has no place in our society, and an anti-automotive agency is now empowered to make car ownership as costly and annoying as physically possible. Cars are now banned in all Brazilian cities. The water supply is in the invisible hand of the free market, carbon emissions are increasingly captured, and stem cells are back on the menu. With our term limits suspended, our 5th election was a foregone formality, and the Green Party has won the day with 270 million votes. But with our rising GDP, the environment is in need of protection from corporate predation, and the PEN enters 2038 with a mandate to protect our planet. We've been ruling Brazil for over 16 years, and despite progress in GDP and HDI, carbon emissions remain far too high. Why? 2 words: female drivers. From an ecological perspective, we must ban women from driving carbon emissions higher, and gender equality is nothing compared to air quality. Women weren't happy, but neither was Mother Nature, so naturally, our next step is to ban airports and all airplanes. All automotive activity would now be tracked by satellite payment processors, waterboarding was onboarded against carbon criminals, and women soon marched in the streets since they couldn't drive. To combat this feminist reactionary movement, the PEN invested in spy satellites, secret courts to enforce everyday crimes, and campaign donors lobbied for all media to be censored and tightly controlled. Women were banned yet again from Instagram, which made them productive. Consumer rights were wiped away, and our lack of an air force meant that the Americans were now bombing our soy factories. We'd have to monitor literally every text and call to ensure electoral compliance in our all-seeing state. But by now, democracy had transformed into ecological autocracy. For our 6th and final term, we'd naturally seek to eliminate thought crime by censoring the internet, opt to install body cameras on everyone to monitor littering, and it was no secret that our state was great. We can now order our workers to uninstall roads and highways to abolish car contamination, install a sustainable Mars base to reforest the Red Planet, and finance the construction of a space station out of recyclable cardboard. Private space industries were booming, excess population growth was shipped out to space, and patriotic state news soon sang while bullets rained upon pollutant protesters. There would be no salad left behind, plastic was permanently banned, and the United Nations had a bone to pick with our naturist policies. Moving towards the future, all Brazilians are to be locked inside their eco-pods from 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. Tear gas was put on full blast, and legal aid, socialized healthcare, and the minimum wage were all replaced by cardboard coupons. Media censorship now nearly guaranteed positive propaganda outcomes, but feeding a lamb did not go to plan. Regardless, PEN would win again, but this time the entire electorate of motorists and trade unionists had ceased to exist. At the dawn of 2046 AD, Brazil has a healthy GDP, near-perfect health and education system, moderate unemployment and poverty, and the total eradication of climate crime. Our income is entirely derived from taxation on packaging pollutants. Our expenses fund carbon capture systems, a sustainable space program, and a surveillance state to ensure that every citizen is cleansed for any ecological offenses. Brazil's initial developing economy has blossomed into a highly developed, debt-free, AAA accredited autocracy with absolutely zero CO2 emissions, zero airplanes, zero violent crime, zero female drivers, nearly eliminated crime, and 100% marks in the environment. This authoritarian and right-wing eco-fascist fiefdom is populated universally by patriotic ecologists, with a large constituent of conservative capitalists and the absolute abolishment of trade unionists and motorists. In terms of societal problems, Brazil is saddled with extreme nationalism, drug addiction, bureaucracy, limited mineral availability, tax evasion, a gig economy, a media monopoly, a real estate bubble, and our initial issue of favela slum housing, which is unsolvable as our capitalist country refuses socialized housing. In terms of competitive advantage, Brazil boasts flourishing fauna, privatized spaceflight, a high productivity, and a technologically developed economy. It's no small wonder that every citizen is thus compelled to vote for our ruling party, whose policies have dramatically affected every aspect of Brazilian life. In our time, there is no crime, investment is high, and the Brazilian lifespan is 69% higher than it is today, resulting in 127 years old being the age of retirement. There are 300 million Brazilians, nearly 80 million more than today, and gender equality has been abandoned in favor of carbon neutrality. Soy consumption is up 64%, productivity has never been higher, and we've obtained sustainable stability. Carbon emissions are down, efficiency and the environment are up, low equality is equality, and democracy is negotiable. This police state of hyper-surveillance and 90-hour work weeks ensures the people do not have time to litter and loiter, and order and progress await Brazil and the restoration of Earth and the terraformation of Mars. Olá cidadão, are you doing your part? Sustainable service guarantees citizenship. Before ending the video, I'd like to thank everyone for watching this far and supporting the YouTube algorithm. The power of compulsory voting compels you to subscribe to AlzaboHD, join our ecological party, and check out Democracy 4, the sponsor of today's video. Check out the Democracy 4 Country Pack DLC and play as one of the 6 new nations, and let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see more in-game campaigns. If you're looking to contribute to our channel's election fund, you can also donate to our Patreon, donate BAT through the Brave browser, or become a YouTube channel member. Até mais! It's time now to roll the credits.